any clients when I smell like shrimp, you know? So anyway, I was trying to work, and Max and Luke would come along, and then they went into the shop, and then the next thing I know, the little fucker goes nuts, you know? And I mean, Max tried to protect me, and the So, what's a girl gotta do to get fat around here? Okay. Wait a minute. What do you think I am, a village idiot? No, first you can get my sandwich, and then I give you your dessert.
in the year of his Lord 2025.
I am speculating on where my life will be in 5 years. Where my life will be in 2030. As I sit here, 3 days after a manic episode lasting 3 weeks. I am deep in thought as I oft am after a manic episode. It would seem like a good time to reflect on life. Having realized my ultimate function, I can now practice my alternate functions. In 5 years I will still be here, sitting on this seat. I am happy now. And I know in 5 years I will be so much happier. In 5 years from now I will be crying at how miserable I was 5 years ago. In 5 years I will have gotten my CFA. In 5 years I will be able to speak Swedish. In 5 years I will be able to tell my parents I love them. In 5 years I will be able to hug my parents. I can do these things now, but I still will be doing them in 5 years. My 3 dogs will be 5 years older, but the same size as they are now. I will have liberated myself from suffering. And this is my alternate function. To liberate people from the oceans of misery. And it is time I liberate myself. For I have held my breath for long enough. I need to apply my own oxygen mask. Or I will die. From the bottom of my heart. I thank LT Van Zandt, CPL Hintz, CPL Colin, and CPL Gherkin. They have instilled in me what it means to be a human being. All of the mistakes, the misconceptions, the delusions, the miseducation, the lack of a father figure, the lack of a nurturing mother, the lack of a caring brother, left the void with me. And the army filled the void. So I was made, in their image. The Annihilator. I would also like to thank my first psychiatrist, Alston Onwin, who taught me the importance of introspection, and my current psychiatrist Mark Spellman, for his pragmatic approach to medication and effective treatment of hypomania. Having learned from both psychiatrists, I now view mental health with a dualistic approach. Introspection and medication. The introspection provides the framework for diagnosing problems and conditions as they arise in the mind and body. The medication and dosage is the effective treatment of hypermania with the goal of using the least amount of medication possible, so as to do as little renal and liver damage as possible. These drugs are meant to be taken over years and as such should be taken with a long-term view rather than some kind of short-term secretion of hypermania. I would also like to thank the Art of Living Foundation and Okokovin for introducing me to breathwork, yoga and meditation from the Indian tradition. Breathwork has alleviated a lot of past trauma, and yoga and meditation continue to cleanse the body and the mind of impressions and all the accumulation of toxins from day-to-day interactions and living. With the military, psychiatry and meditation in focus, this trinity of activity has alleviated a lot of my suffering and will continue to do so going forward. The focus on sleep, diet, and movement has also been the foundations of my health and happiness. 5 years from now, there are some languages I want to learn/improve on/start learning. English, Chinese, Japanese, German, French, Swedish, Dari, Afghan, and Russian. There are some places I'm doing these activities, you become smarter. Whatever you choose to do, it is best to have some kind of competition in life, such as golfing. My brother plays golf, and I recently have been getting into golfing, and when I go to Taiwan, I will be able to play golf with him, and in that way we will have an activity to compete in and improve on. When I cook for my mom and my dad and my 3 dogs, I feel really good, because I did something. I don't mind doing chores, because they are easy and they give me a quick hit of dopamine for little effort. Cooking for my family feels great, and seeing the dogs eat steak makes me so happy. I cook better steak than restaurants now, and the best part, and she showed me her SoundCloud page on her laptop. It was a Malibu. She stuck a black and white picture over the Apple logo. Beatles like that, she's Very much anti-establishment. But not totally hippie, just alternative. I listened to about 30 seconds of the song Unseen and gave her headphones back. I was in love. This was around September or October 2016. Vita Ocean. That's right, it's AC not AC, it's a CH sound. So it's pronounced Vita Vojai. If you read it in English, it's a Croatian last name, or Serbian. I think she had some problems with her mother, because her mother sounds like she is quite distant, unemotional, and not willing to talk about problems and share emotions. So without her father, who was probably the heart of the family, dying and her mother being distant and her brother just being a regular guy who wants to stay in Sweden and not explore the world more, she probably didn't have so much support. I remember talking to her one night, after she closed the lab, because what I did was, I would go to the lab on the days she worked, and I would stay until it closed, which was 12 midnight. And then they changed it to 11 p.m. eventually cause midnight was too late for the staff. Anyway, we were walking along Governor Street, she was walking her bike, a silver push bike, and I was walking alongside her. She had told me about her father's death, and she was upset that another girl she knew, whose mother killed herself, got way more support and attention than she did when her father passed from a heart attack. All I could say was "Oh Eva" and give her a hug, because I cared about her. More than anything, more than anyone in the universe, I cared about this girl. I haven't spoken to her since about May 2017. She said I made death threats against her, which is too bad, and I will always regret giving her black journal back. If I had kept it, maybe we'd still be in contact. Also rejecting her hospital visit. There was a lot of things that I did that went wrong and I never saw her or spoke to her again. Around the same time, this German girl called Sabrina Kahn, who was a student at the school, and was in my class, Electronic Music Production B. There were EMPA, B and C, with about 10 students at class. She confessed she liked me one night, when we were walking away from the school. I lived quite close to the school and on the way, we sat down on a bench, and she told me she liked me, and I told her I liked her too, and we rested our heads against each other. This was probably around February 2017. That night we hung out at my shoebox room in a shared apartment. It was a bedroom that had been cut in half to make two smaller rooms. The room was a single bed wide, then about 35 centimeters before the wall. I didn't mind though. It was small and cheap and really close to school. So we sat on our bed, listening to music. She bought her a little cute Bluetooth speaker, and we tried to have a rap battle. I was so bad, lol. Anyway, it was getting late and she's like, on the U-Bahn, subway, stops running soon, can I stay tonight, or I won't have a train to catch? And I was like, yeah, of course. Anyway, we talked a bit more. Then we went to bathroom, and then got into bed. As soon as I turned off the lights, she turned to me and we started kissing. We had sex like 4 times. We would have sex, fall asleep, then wake up and have more sex an hour or 2 later. Then after like 2 or 3 weeks she just cut me off for no real reason. Maybe she wanted something like a fling, and she could. My emotions were really strong. And she knew I loved Vita, and she was having some family issues at the time as well. Her grandfather is in his 80s and is getting old. Anyway, he tried to kiss her. I think it was because he thought she was her grandmother, but I don't know. Maybe he wanted her. So that messed with her for a bit. But Vita and Sabrina both stopped talking to me within a week of each other, as I was manic, stuck in a locked psychiatric ward in a public hospital in Kreuzberg, Vivantes Clinica. And those people saved my life, even though I hated being in there, because I only had 2 months left, and this was the time that July, August, which is summer in Berlin. This is the time. People go out and it's warm and everyone parties for 3 months. So being stuck in hospital destroyed me. But this is the problem, made it worse. I made it so much worse than it ever needed to be, because I was a broken human being. I did not know how to take care of myself. All I knew was how to sacrifice myself for others, and how to destroy things. But the people in Berlin, the hospital, everyone there, my other school friends, visited me at the hospital. And the nurses at this psychiatric ward just worked with me day in and day out. I got to know all the staff, the whole rotation, and I talked to all them enthusiastically. I also tried to make friends, and I did make friends in the hospital. Because you are living together in this corridor, you get to know each other. And I have friends, German local Berlin friends, because I stayed in hospital for 2 months. I learned a fuckload of German. But their gentle kindness, their compassion, and the warmth of these German nurses in this public hospital brought me from the bottom of the sea, upwards, towards the surface. They cared for me in a way that my family has never done, and for the first time in a long time, I felt at peace. I felt like I had a family with this bunch of crazy German people that I love. I remember we would get to go for a walk sometimes, to go out of the hospital and walk along the river. There was this Italian pizzeria with wood oven pizza I loved. It was thin and you used a knife and fork to eat it. Then you can leave the crust and pour some olive oil and balsamic at the end to eat. With the crust. It was so good, my favorite pizza. It was a franchise with 3 locations. So beautiful. I remember one day on the bridge there was a baker or something, with a box of bread just giving it out for free. There were boats, and one time I had a juice with this other girl from the hospital. Kreuzberg is really some kind of place. Although I wanted to be with Vita, I made the most of my time in a German psychiatric hospital. It's something that few people like me ever get to experience. Someone from Australia. Quite interesting. There were male nurses and female nurses. I remember one of the male nurses understood I had PTSD and would let me play war games when I was tripping. He was such a good nurse. And the thing is, over the 2 months the nurses could see me improve. And by the end they had really gotten to know me and I them. And then I had made friends with a few other patients, some of whom I am still in contact with. This guy called Thomas Klang also gave me some artwork. Very interesting guy who had a crazy spicy girlfriend from Catalan. I also missed a trip to Florence, Italy with my friend Amadeo, which is sad. But I did not waste my time at the hospital, and overall I made the most of a terrible situation. I talked to Sabrina recently, but I haven't spoken to Vita yet. Anyway, I'm going to learn Swedish. One day if I speak to her again, I will speak to her in her mother tongue. My time in the army has also made me an elite killer. I have no morals, I have no responsibilities. No kids, no partner, nothing. I am a very good soldier in that sense, because I am basically an empty slate. Even though I have left the army for 15 years now, I have only improved as a person and as a soldier, because I have kept training and seeking to improve my abilities as an engineer and soldier. I have stayed interested in combat arms and warfare all this time, so I haven't really lost my edge. If anything, I have become deadlier. The army takes away from you all your junk, all your useless crap, and builds you up properly so that you can work with other soldiers. Everyone carries their own weight, and we are all good mates who would fight for each other. I felt mateship and camaraderie in the army, support, guidance, direction, and discipline. Something my rich family never provided me. They had turned me from a child into an adult. I remember I was really hung up on the fact that I never got to have sex with Vita. But I know that I care more about the hundreds of hours of time we spent together, and resentment, hate and suffering. It was a torrent of rain, washing away all the past residue. Then after the breathing program, I was invited to a silence course, the 4-day silent meditation retreat. And this was July 2024. The instructor told us to write down all our wishes and desires and that it would happen. I didn't believe it at the time, after 7 years of thinking about Vita daily. I didn't think anything would ever help the thoughts go away. But I set my intention that day, to move on, or start moving on from Vita. And it worked. The 4 days started the process which would continue on for the next 5 months. I did my breath work and I did my meditation. And eventually I let go of her. After 7 years I was liberated from this suffering. Then this silence course, January 2025, I set my intention on moving on from warfare and violence. And that has started, and will continue on for the next 6 months, until it is done. I am happier now than I was before, and I have far less resentment, negative emotion, or baggage. These days, in 5 years from now, 2030, I will be even freer and lighter. I look forward to every day. Now in all the activities I do, I look forward to everything and I have changed my priorities. Before 1 was work, 2 was family and 3 were friends. Now my top priority is having fun every day. Work is now the second priority and relaxing is the third. What I thought was being selfish was actually just being a regular human being. So now I live my life how I wish and look forward to the future. Going to Göteborg to study furniture design would be fun. I look forward to the CFA 2 test in November 2025. I look forward to getting into golf. I look forward to making my second album. I look forward to seeing my dad get better at cooking. I'm happy seeing my mom get less and less anxious and depressed. She's addicted to share trading right now. I look forward to seeing Rebecca lose 20 kilograms. I look forward to all the other girls I have yet to meet. Life's fucking good, bro. Ho. 2025-0207, Friday, 18 hours 15 minutes and 8 seconds. P.S. Vita was born on the 21st day of September, 1995. Virgo. Pig. Sabrina was born September, 1996. Virgo. Rat. Rebecca is born July 1986, Cancer.